welcome back to another video. I'm going to be showing you how to sew on the side part closure and draw guidelines. This is a closure I'm using. It's a 5x5 HD lace closure. And when you put your cap onto your head, you want the V part in the front because you will need that for your guidelines. Well, you know, as far as where to put your closure. So you will see me starting it in the middle, but then I slide it to the side that my client wants the part on, of course. And then right in between those two lines is where I'm going to place one side of the closure, whether that's on the right or the left, you know, again, whatever side your client wants it on. And then I'm just going to pin it down. Now, I also leave a little bit of hair in the front. I would say about 1/2 inch of hair in the front. Just so when I sew the back down, in case it slips back a little bit, the closure will still be in the right spot. So I'm just going to stretch out that. And then this is how the front of the closure will look. And then once I get to the back of it, what you are going to do is literally just pull the closure back. And you want to make sure that those corners are down super flat. It might take, you know, some getting used to if this is your first time. But you'll see me doing it with both hands as I'm using one T-pin. I'm holding the other side just so the closure is flat. You want to make sure the closure is flat before you proceed with anything else in these steps that I'm about to tell you, okay? So now that we got the closure flat, I'm just going to get all of that hair out of the way. And then we are going to sew on our closure. And I'm just going to use a regular C-shaped needle. And then for my thread, I just use black regular cotton thread. So what can I say to you? But I'm off there, had to fall back. You got everybody thinking I'm all bad. You know the truth. I was always holding you down. You down. When you start sewing, you want to make sure that you do not sew that first stitch through the whole band because the cap will not stretch. So what I'm doing is just taking it through the top layer of the cap. So again, if you are new to this, make sure that you have a feel for the top layer so you don't get confused in sewing the whole band because your wig will not stretch. I promise you it will not stretch. So I'm just going to stitch all of these about 1/2 inch apart. You don't want them too far apart, but you also want it but you also don't want it too close together. So you will see where my stitches are and you can just go from there. But I'm just going to stitch all the way around the closure. Maybe my sense of reality is turned off. Who the fuck knows? I just make songs. Who am I to sound this how this shit goes? That's sarcasm, by the way. You wanna be my hero. You won't even do the help. Oh, this shit don't add up. You don't even know the math. You said it's gonna even last. Sometimes I wanna beat your ass. Wait, you know I won't do that. Oh, sorry I say that. Now that we are getting closer to the end, I most likely always take that T-pin out just to flatten out the last little section. Because again, you want the closure to be as flat as possible. And that last stitch, I'm not going to sew at the end. I'm going to sew at the end, but then I'm also going to bring it back right in that area right there. And this is just so it's like an anchor. And also just so your closure lays flat once you know, go in and style it. So you don't have that big old lump at the end of your closure from tying the knot from the thread. For the guidelines, I use chalk. If you are just beginning, you can use a metallic Sharpie because that won't go away. But chalk, if you decide to use it, it will go away if you like accidentally rub your palm on it. So if you are beginning and you need your guidelines, I would highly suggest that you go get a metallic marker. But I'm just going to use chalk. Now, again, you can use a measuring tape. What you would do is just place the measuring tape onto the center of the wig and just draw 1 inch apart each line. I have been doing this for so long, honestly, so I can just eyeball it, and it's been working for me for years. But yeah, for a side part, I do go down the middle first to get those middle lines down, and then I go to the side. And when you see me drawing my sides, I'm actually kind of slanting them. You want to make sure that you do that, so when you get to the top that you still have space to sew. So just like that, that side is done. It's so simple. Now this side, a lot of people have questions on. So I'm going to do like a little close up on how to draw the lines over there. Now those lines are regular, but once you get to the top is when you will start having to curve the lines. And I always start from the outside first, just so I get enough lines so there are no, big old spaces in between the tracks. And then I connect the lines like that. So again, I'm going to show you a close up on how the lines look, so you can screenshot it or you can save it for later so you know how to draw your guidelines. But yeah, that is how the guidelines turned out. If it was on the other side, it will be the same method. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I will see you in my next video.